Hello and welcome all. Welcome back to the channel. I apologise for the lack of recent uploads. It's been a very busy few weeks. Been researching a lot for this upload today, and trying to get a few ideas for future uploads prepared for you guys. I'm hoping when they come out you'll like those. It's survival things that I've been taking on board from everyone's comments from previous videos. So I'm hoping you enjoy those when they hit. But today it's going to be an upload looking at the top survival features in Stranded Deep, which, as we all know, hopefully we should be getting news on in the next couple of weeks, days, you never know. But hopefully that's coming soon to the console. So as I said, today it's just a few elements to get us patient console fans excited for what lies ahead. So to begin with, I want to talk about how you monitor your vital signs in Stranded Deep. It seems to be displayed on your trusty watch, as you can see in the pictures on screen now. It's equipped with 3 different modes. Mode 1, which displays your time, date, total days survived, your UV index and the day-night cycle, as you can see in this picture. Mode 2 seems to display all your vital signs, if you like. So your health bar, current player health, 0 equaling obviously death. And then you've got your hunger level. 1 bar seems to equal 1 bar for food. You've got your current thirst levels, 1 bar once again equaling 1 water serving. And sleep, current tiredness of your player. Now, there's also a third mode on this handy little watch, and that seems to track your stats, your effects, all displayed on screen, both positive and negative. So for example, it could display that your player is completely healthy, and that'd be a positive, or it could display that your player he's just been poisoned, which is going to display negative effect, so on and so forth. And this trusty survival watch even bleeps when your vital signs are at a dangerous level, which for a wristwatch isn't bad at all when you think about it. Now, that's the watch explained. I want to list now from this point on 10 realistic survival features that I personally think are going to test us survival fans in Stranded Deep. So kicking off the list, we have up first dehydration, a standard feature in most survival titles, but not all that easy to come by in Stranded Deep. You can collect water when it rains, but with no rain, could have you cracking open a coconut or two, or even consuming some of the local products, i.e. your fruit. Which is perfect, but be warned, too many coconuts could lead to diarrhea, which equals even further dehydration. So now we have hunger. Once again, a common survival feature, and like most, it follows a similar rule. Eat rotten, or raw foods, you get sick. Simple as that. You can plant food in a craftable farm and grow and consume fruits and potatoes, or hunt from the many creatures including bats, crabs, snakes, wild boar, even sharks, you name it, you can hunt it in this game. Which also yield meat, giving, more or less nutrition benefits based on the size of the animal, obviously. So if you consume a crab, it's not going to give you as much nutritional level as what a shark would, but obviously risks and benefits in both of those, so that's something to keep in mind when you're out hunting. So next up, there's poisoning. There are many things in Stranded Deep that could be trod on or bitten by, which can cause poisoning, but luckily there is also ways to cure the affliction caused. By making antidotes, by collecting plants, it could be, cured pretty quickly, to be honest with you, or even waiting it out's an option. Keeping hydrated, well fed and resting as much as humanly possible for the 3 days in game. It's just obviously be careful. This approach, I mean, the poison, it doesn't just lay dormant for the 3 days, it's constantly knocking away at your health. So yes, you could sit there, you could rest, you could hydrate, you could eat, but you need to constantly be battling that, your health going down almost. It's just sitting there a waiting game, and 3 days in a survival game, there's a lot that can be achieved in those 3 days. So sometimes best to go for the cure, but needs be, you've always got the option to wait it out. A beautiful feature to have in a game: sunburn and heat stroke. You're on a desert island, the sun's your enemy. Of course you're going to get sunburn or heat stroke, and in Stranded Deep the heat will start to slowly affect you to the point that you start to become dehydrated, craving that water even more. You can combat this by having a swim, nice cool waters, or getting some shade under a makeshift building, or just under some trees. But what they add, which is, I find, a lovely little feature, is the ability to make your own desert island sunscreen, using aloe plants and coconuts to help with the effects. that is just genius in a game. They could have made it so you get too hot, you jump in the water, you cool down instantly. You think of Ark, just for an example. You get too hot, you can jump in the nice cool waters, and it's not too long before you're feeling fine again. But just have that sunscreen, I think, is just a beautiful, beautiful little touch, and I cannot wait to see that. So on to bleeding in Stranded Deep, a survival feature that some, but not all survival titles, do take advantage of. Maybe an obvious feature, but a bite from a shark or an attack from a marlin, and you're going to be injured, you're going to bleed. By simply finding the correct materials, be that on your island or an island you may have to swim to, you can craft a bandage for your wound. Obviously left untreated, your health will drop and you will succumb to eventual death. So it's just one of those, once again, do you go in the water? Do you take on that shark for the food? Can you risk having that bite? A lovely little feature, so simple, so effective. It's a weird thing to get excited about, I know. It's even weirder, trust me, to have to talk about it in this section. But yes, diarrhea can be your enemy on Stranded Deep. Believe it or not, it is actually quite complex from what they've done here, so you take your time to have a little look at this one. From what I've seen and what I've read, the effect can come across and hit you quite easily in the game, simply by consuming too much fruit or coconuts can lead to diarrhea, like I mentioned before. You don't want to go down that messy path, so to speak. It's also going to leave you massively dehydrated. It's not going to be something that the diarrhea happens and it's funny and you get past that. It's going to affect you. It can hit you hard. Luckily, it does pass quickly, and as long as you can rehydrate afterwards and stay away from the damn coconuts and those damn fruits, you should be fine. Well, it looks like it's back to back lovely topics, one after the other. We're on vomiting now. This one is vile, but it's an amazing feature as well. Once again, it's one of those they've added, and they could have left it out. But it's a survival title. You want it to be realistic. Clearly, once again, it's one of those cause and effect type things. You eat anything rotten or raw, you're going to vomit. Even eating or drinking too much, in a short space of time, it can lead you down the road to vomit. Luckily, once again, rehydrating and time is your best friend in this situation. So on a more cheery note, we're on drowning. Now, of course, in a game where you're surrounded by beautiful oceans to explore, you're eventually going to come across this situation sneaking up on you. You want to explore the coral reefs, you want to go down, you want to fight a shark. But keep in mind, in this game, 2 minutes without oxygen, you go unconscious, you die. Lucky when you are down there, that trusty watch, the one we spoke about earlier, is going to notify you. It's going to start bleeping when you're running out of time and you need to get up to get some oxygen. As I said, 2 minutes down there, you're unconscious. It's a small feature in a survival game, but one that when you're playing it, it's one of those things you want there. If it wasn't there, it would annoy you. So, it's simple, but it's a survival feature. So broken bones, bit of an obvious one here, but not all survival titles have this effect, surprisingly. A fall from a height, and you could break a bone, which in turn limits your ability to move around, really. It limits all your mobility. And the only way that you can actually, heal yourself from this is to create a splint. Of course, once again, it's a case of what materials would you need to repair your body with a splint? How would you craft that splint in the first place? So you look around, you find these items, you craft them, and then you can start healing up again. So last on the list, controversial one really. Is it survival feature or an effect? It isn't really, but honestly, for hardcore survival fans out there, this is something that you are going to enjoy. Even for those that are very OCD when designing their bases on here, you're going to enjoy. It's going to push you to explore. When you're stuck on one island and you use all the resources there, I mean, it could be anything. I mean, the list is actually quite a long list. Just a few things from them. You've got your coconuts, your potatoes, palm trees, stones, wild boar, rocks and clay. Once they're gone, they do not respawn. And that's just a few items from the list. It's just something that I personally believe is going to create those desperate moments that get you off onto another island where you're scavenging around, and it's something that you sit there and you have to make that survival decision. Do I stay or do I leave? Do I, rip this island bare and move on? What do you do? And it's just, although, yes, it's not an effect that you can have on the body, by having these items not respawn, I can just imagine the desperate scenarios it's going to put all of us in certain points, and it's a feature that I personally am looking forward to seeing. So there is a list of a few survival effects to be excited about and fear in Stranded Deep for console players. Just to recap the list, we had broken bones, we had items don't respawn, you got vomiting, drowning, diarrhea, bleeding, sunburn and sunstroke in the same category obviously, poisoning, hydration and hunger. There's going to be more. I know there'll be more. There'll be some that I've missed. I mean, as I said, I'm yet to play this game. I'm saving it all for when it's out on console. So everything I've seen is just things that I've read. It's things that I've watched of other YouTubers. It's all things that I've tried to gather along the way. So I know there's some of you guys out that have played the game. You've been lucky enough to play it. Let me know in the comments below if there's anything I've missed or should be on there, or something else that we should be excited for. And let's face it, look, it's not long now until we do hear the news of a release date on console. So don't forget to subscribe if you want to hear news about it. As soon as I hear anything myself, I will be getting it out to all of you guys. I can't stress that enough. It's just one of those things that I've said I'll do from the beginning, and I want to keep following that through. So please stand by for that. If you enjoyed the video today, please don't forget to hit that like button, and thank you for taking the time to watch today. Once again, as always, thank you and goodbye.